Hey guys, welcome
Hi.
to Coffee Talk. Wanda Sparks here, and today I'm with my niece Adriana. Say hello.
Hi.
And Adriana I actually caught you because you're on your way to Boston. You're moving to Boston, and that's exciting. But I'm
Yes.
like, oh, how did you like Boston? And then you told me you had only been there once.
Yeah, I only went to Boston a couple months ago for like 2 days. Fell in love with it, so really excited to move there. I was living in New York City for 2 years, so realized it wasn't for me. So excited for a new city.
That breaks my heart. I love New York City. Love New York City. So you like Boston. That's
Yes,
good.
I do.
But you just got back from a really exciting trip. So tell the viewers where you've been.
Yeah, so just got back yesterday from Europe. So I was in Europe for 2 weeks. I went to Bulgaria, Macedonia, Kosovo, Albania, and Montenegro.
Oh
So
my
5 countries in 2 weeks.
5 countries in
Yes.
2 weeks. And it was on a yacht.
Yes.
So these yachts, you didn't just stay there, you actually sailed.
Yes. So for a week, I was on the yacht with 9 other people. Everyone was from all over the world. So that's the really cool thing about this trip. It's called a trip called Yacht Week. So it's something you can do during the summer, and it's people from all over the world coming in for 1 week to different countries. So you can do Croatia, Montenegro, Italy. I did Montenegro, and we sailed for 7 days in the Adriatic Sea. So that was really cool.
Oh my gosh, that is exciting. But now the reason you're moving to Boston is because
The boo.
The what?
The boyfriend.
what did you call him?
The boo.
Oh, the boo. People still use that word like bae and boo. I don't
The
know.
babe.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So
Well, part of it. And I
Part
also
of it,
wanted
yes.
to also wanted to move to a new city. Like I said before, like I was in New York for 2 years, so wanted to move to a new city, new adventure, new chapter.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
he's going to Harvard, which is
Yeah.
why you ended up there. So Harvard, and the yacht week that you did was through Harvard.
Yeah, so Harvard Business School, which is where my boyfriend's going to, they do an annual trip. So right before the school year starts, they do Yacht Week. So it's 7 days with the new classmates. So it's with 300 new classmates. You don't know anyone, so you're just thrown into this crazy trip with everyone, and you get to just mingle and meet everyone.
That's
So, yeah.
exciting. That's exciting. But before you did this trip, where you went to 5 different countries, like you've traveled a lot, and so, oh my God, you've been to like Germany and London, and you've been to France, right? Amsterdam, I think, was the cool one because you brought me a cool pen from there.
Yeah.
But what is your favorite place to go?
Favorite, I think.
What's been your favorite country so far?
Ooh.
Have you been to
That's
Prague?
hard.
Is this where we got the mug from?
Yeah, that's Prague. This is Montenegro.
Oh, I've never even heard of Montenegro. I had no clue that even existed.
Yeah, it's really nice. Right next to Croatia. So I know right now a hot spot is Croatia, but I think the next is going to be Montenegro. It's really beautiful there.
So you could say you discovered it. It's like Tulum, Mexico. But okay, so what's your favorite so far?
Favorite. I think my favorite's been Greece. I know that sounds like kind of, typical, but
Well, that's
it's
where your
honestly
boyfriend lives. That'd be my favorite too. I'm going to Greece with the boo. Hey,
Yeah.
Alex. Greece.
Yeah, so I think Greece. Like Crete. So Crete, it's not really in Greece. It's like a little island off of Greece. Most beautiful place I've ever seen. Literally,
Oh,
like pink
wow.
sand beaches, clear water, really kind people, good food. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite places.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the reason that I wanted to interview you for Coffee Talk today was because like you travel everywhere. And have you ever, I think you've had like some long layovers where you're like alone in these countries too.
Yeah.
So not only that, but you travel by yourself. Even when your boyfriend lived in Greece, like you were traveling to Greece like on your own. And I think your
Yeah.
last layover was like 10 hours in Germany. Were you by
It
yourself
was
there?
12 hours by myself
12 hours.
in
What
the
did-
German airport.
What did you do?
I just wandered.
Wait, you didn't leave the airport?
No, I didn't leave the airport.
But you've been to Germany, so it was like
it was in Frankfurt, which I've been to before, and it just didn't make sense. It was like nighttime when I got there.
I was gonna say, so you were like, what's that movie, The Terminal?
Literally, I was just wandering the airport. It was by the nighttime, it was empty, and you just kind of find a spot to like sleep and hang out, be on your phone if they have free Wi-Fi, which this airport did, so that was good.
Well, that's why. Well, that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I'm all about like dating yourself and spending time alone. And when young girls do it, like, it really makes me happy. I'm like, because it's like you're discovering yourself, and for you to like, I travel once a month, but nothing like you do, where I'm like different countries. But that'll change soon, I hope. But you do it. You've done some of them by yourself, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think I would say the majority has been by myself, going to usually Europe, and it's a lot. Yeah, you can get like, especially with the long layovers, and I think just flying in general, especially by yourself, it's a little like lonely. But again, you kind of just make kind of a it's like, what I usually do. It's okay to be lonely.
I'll be in Greece somewhere in 10 hours with the boo.
And it's okay. Yeah, and you can make a list of like things to do on the plane, like things you've been wanting to do and haven't, put the time into doing, like, I don't know, writing in your journal or things like that, which is what I like to do when I'm flying. So yeah.
Okay. So then that brings me to my like question here, because people are always like, I travel a lot, and I try to get away like once a month, even if I just go to like Indiana or Wisconsin or something. And people are always like, how do you do it? And I always think, well, it's not for everyone, because, you're really good. I think I learned a lot of my tricks from you as far as like finding good airfare and stuff. But sometimes that means like you leave at certain times, or you only have a certain window, or you can only be there a few days, or you're there 2 weeks, or, so people are always like, tell me. And I'm like, no, because you're not going to be able to do it. It's not I call it, it's not for the realist. Like if you have a Monday through Friday job, and then you have to worry about like requesting time off and vacation, I'm like, it's not going to work for you. So that's why I was like, I want to ask her how she does it, because you were living in New York, you were on your own, you're working for this nice company, and you did have the Monday through Friday job. 9 to 5 or however many hours they needed you, but you still found the time to be able to travel and do those things that you wanted to do. So good for you. But that leads me to my question, as far as like, are you a dreamer or are you a realist? And I'll tell you this, because I have 3 kids, and with my 2 oldest, they were definitely dreamers, and it's like I never really encouraged school because they weren't good at it, and they wanted to, own their own business or have these crazy dreams. And so I'm a dreamer, so I knew how to raise the dreamers. But then I have Jacob, who is, and he's my realist, and I have to blame you for that, because if, for those of you that know my son, like he loves shoes. He's a sneakerhead. And he went to a trade show one day and made like $600 in like 2 hours. Just awesome. Buy, sell, trade. That's his thing. Buy, sell, trade. So I'm like, you sold all your shoes and you made like $600. And I'm like, I watched this TED talk about Jordan shoes, and they were like, you don't even invest in the stock market, or don't have a pension. Like, put all your money into Jordans, because this is where it's going. So I'm like, Jacob, let's do this. I'm going to fund your dream, And he's like, what dream? He's like, no. He said, Adriana said I could make a lot of money being a consultant, and I'll make money just to buy stuff. And I'm like, what? So I couldn't quite grasp that concept of, you don't want to own your own business. You don't want to sell these shoes and make a profit. He just wants to sell these shoes so he can buy more shoes. And he wants to go to school. He wants to go to college in California. He wants to get a Monday through Friday job and support his habit of shoes. So like, where do you fall in that?
I would say I'm a little bit of both. So like you said, worked in New York City, did a 9 to 5 job, working in corporate, but
corporate America.
Corporate America. But then I'm also a dreamer, so like that goes into like my traveling, and sometimes I do make like Wanda was saying before, it isn't for everyone, and you have to be really flexible and open to just different things. So I think my dreamer side of things comes into the traveling, where I like to experience different cultures, go to weird countries like Kosovo, and the non-typical tourist countries and things like that.
Like Montenegro. You heard it here first. Montenegro is the place.
So I think that's where my dreamer side comes in, where I'm like, I love to read. So a lot of the books I read growing up were like fantasy, and like, you know, a lot of the settings were like out in, you know, beautiful countries and islands. And I think with traveling, I kind of get that side of like, yeah, my dreamer side. So.
That explains you girls and your obsession with the traveling sister
of the traveling pants. Yeah. Yes, that's exactly like
they were in Greece.
I wanted that life.
Yes, so nice of you. You should have a pair of pants that travel with you.
I should. Yeah.
Yes. So what is the next? Well, you're moving to Boston, so you'll be in Boston. Will be home tomorrow. Oh my gosh.
Moving to Boston tomorrow.
So. How exciting. Well, we'll see how you'll probably love Boston since I wasn't such a big fan, but I love New York and you were like, which I'm shocked because you're a city girl, you know, but New York, I guess New York's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, definitely not.
So what's the next trip? Do you have any trips planned?
Not yet. There's some talk, like I've talking to a couple of friends about doing Iceland in November, but we'll see, like beginning of November.
But you've never been to Iceland?
No, I haven't been to Iceland. Yeah, I haven't been to Iceland yet. I've been wanting to go, but I've heard
it's a small fortune. Iceland is crazy expensive.
Yeah, I heard it's crazy expensive. Yes. Flights there are super cheap.
Yes, but when you get there, they're like, give me your money. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I'm glad I got to see it in the winter.
Yeah.
So you'll have to try the Blue Lagoon and the Northern Lights.
I really want to. Yeah, so we're talking about that, but we'll see. We heard Northern Lights are really, you have better chances of seeing the Northern Lights in September, October, and November. So
yeah, because we went in February and they were like, don't go.
Oh, really?
You're not going to see them. So they canceled a lot of the trips, so we weren't able to see them. But I don't know if I'll be back. I don't know if I can afford Iceland. It's like, oh no. So Iceland.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it happens. But yeah, I just got back yesterday. I'm like,
you're like, I'm not
after like a 30-hour journey back. So it was a long journey. But yeah, we'll see.
So what would be your advice to girls? Because you're young. So girls who are your age and they're kind of out there discovering themselves. And I think that you've done that like at such a young age, you know? And I think you've done it because of your travels, because you've been out there and you've experienced like different cultures and people, and you know, you're doing your thing, you know, and it's exciting, and you're living your realist / dreamer life. So what would be like your advice to young girls out there?
Yeah, I think not being afraid to get out of your comfort zone. I think, you know, I've always been someone who's comfortable, who likes being in my comfort zone.
That's fine.
Okay. So yeah, like I
said, our phone is ringing.
Yeah, sorry about the phone. So from 20, the first time I like left the U.S. and traveled by myself, I was 20 years old, and now I'm 25.
Oh my God.
And I feel like within those 5 years, I grew up a lot, and you know, a lot of times I was scared to do different things, but I never regretted doing something at the end of things, just because I was proud of myself from even getting out of my comfort zone. So yeah, don't be afraid, be confident, and do what you want to do. Don't be afraid to follow your dreams and follow whatever you feel like is in your heart.
Oh, that's great advice. That's great advice. And everyone knows I'm a big fan of that, of just discovering yourself. So read about it in my book, Table for One, Wanda Sparks, and subscribe if you like this show. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am Wanda Sparks. Just hit the subscribe button and share the video if you're enjoying it. So thank you so much for being on Coffee Talk.
Of course.
And we'll see you in Iceland. Okay, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.